Australian Kelpie. Now these two dogs represent the two breeds of dogs we use in Australia, and there's no secret about them. They are what we call herding dogs. Their instinct is to herd. And I'll explain a little bit more about them, but just to sort of clarify things, we've got well over in excess of 90 million sheep now in Australia. So we shear them all once a year, and it's a very, very big job for our dogs and for the owners and everyone involved, the shearers. And so this is just giving you a little insight into what might happen out on a farm. I've got one that I shore last week. I was also a professional shearer for 20 odd years. So the wool is there back on that table back there, and if you want to come in and have a look at the wool and you'll be able to see the sheep straight after the show as well. So the little dog down here, his name is Hunter. He's 7.5-year-old Border Collie. The Border Collies come to us from England and Scotland. That's their home, and they were introduced into Australia by the English in the early 1800s. Now this one is very traditional, Hunter. He's got the black and white colour, short legs, long hair, and of course they do come in different colours as well, brown and white, all white sometimes. But the English very, very quickly discovered when they settled Australia that conditions here are very, very different to back home. They didn't have any 40-degree heat, and they didn't have farms that were that big that you couldn't see where you were going. So the little Border Collies do it pretty tough here in the summer, and we do use them, but it's probably about 4 o'clock in the morning till about 8 o'clock, and then they stop because they just get way too hot, and you can overheat a dog very quickly, and that's pretty well the end of their life. They mightn't die, but they won't be able to work hard again once they're overheated. So it's important that we don't overheat these dogs. Now the dog that was never meant to replace the Border Collie but just to work with them is called the Australian Kelpie. Now the Kelpie are a dog that came from originally Scottish working dogs in 1870, introduced into Australia. They started to breed them. They bred dogs that had short hair, much thicker pads on their feet. If you have a look at his feet afterwards, twice as thick as the Border Collies, different shaped head, they can breathe much easier, and probably the most significant thing I always think is that there is proven 15 to 20% dingo in the Kelpie. So these dogs are very, very Australian. They suit our conditions, they are tough, they are energetic, and they will just work till they drop, although we don't let them do that. So the Border Collie, so smart, and they do such a lot for us, but the Kelpies are probably the main one that we use in Australia, particularly in our heat. Today, they're going to do a different role. Hunter loves going out and mustering and bringing the sheep down here, and that's what he's bred for. This little fella has been trained. His name's Rolly. He's only 1 year old, and he's an unusual little dog, but he's been trained to do what we call yard work. So he's going to put the sheep into the yard, and that's so important at shearing time, because some of our big sheds we quite often shear 2,000 or 3,000 a day. Not 20 like I've got here, but thousands of sheep come in every day. So the dogs have got to be able to get in with the sheep, push them up for the shearers, and you'll see a little example of that in a little while. It's a lot tougher work in here. This little fella the Kelpie have no fear whatsoever. Okay, training starts at about 6 months of age, and all we're trying to do is get control of the dogs. We can't teach them to herd, they know that, so we just use their instincts and then we just control them. So we're going to show you a little bit of that. Not much else I can say about them. Great companions. We always say they take the place of probably 3, 4, 5 people. In fact, they're probably a little bit better than that because they always turn up for work, never late, that's the shot, always sober, don't want a pay rise. What else can I say about you, Hunter? Hunter. Okay, I'm casting him out into the paddock. Now what he's been taught is to go out and look for some sheep. Now obviously in a small paddock, he's not going to have too much trouble, he knows where they are. So what he's got to do is wake them up and get them down here. Now the sheep in the show are all merino sheep. They are our wool sheep in Australia. While they're standing up there they look dirty to me, and that is a dusty tip on their back. Here. The way I instruct the dog can come in 3 ways. I can give a whistle, I can use word instructions, or I can simply, the way I stand, body language plays a big part. So the Border Collie are a nice gentle dog, he's not up there rushing around. The Kelpie get in the face of the sheep a lot more. But these dogs are very, very timid, the way they work, but he's going to get them on the move, he's working backwards and forwards behind them, and he will bring them down here to me, because that's what his nature is telling him. Yeah. These sheep have been down here a couple of days and you can see them there stamping their feet at the dog. They don't want to do a show. They'd rather stand in the shade. And that's the nature of the border collie, is not to try and frighten the sheep at all. But if I have to move them, I will send my little kelpie up. And he can move them. Now, they are very different in nature, the two dogs. Here. They're all just getting a little bit over some of the shows, even though they've been here for a couple of days. What do you think, Rolly? Do you want to go up and get the sheep? One thing we know about the kelpie.
Oh, there they come.
Here they come, Rolly. We don't have to go up there. So he's got them on the move. Now he's working hard behind them, backwards and forwards. That's what his instinct's telling him. And he will bring the sheep down here to me. What we're going to then show you is how he can put them through these little obstacles out here. We've got a gateway and a couple of raceways. But you can see the way he's working backwards and forwards. Can't teach other dogs to do that. There's plenty of dogs that will chase sheep, but unfortunately they never bring them back. They just keep chasing them. These dogs always bring them to their owner, and that's the instinct of the dog. Now it's called natural balance. The dog is always opposite me. Wherever I go, he's always watching the mob of sheep, and he will just bring them to me, and then he will drop down and wait for his next instruction. Now he's been taught to move left, right, here. So with a one-word instruction or a quick whistle, here, here, here. I can move him in any direction. Now they are extremely obedient, the border collies. The kelpies have a bit of a mind of their own, and you'll see that in a little while. Now the reason they're dirty looking is because of a dust or a grease, in the wool of the sheep called lanolin. It's in the skin that goes up through the wool. And when we shear them, 30% of the weight of that wool is actually grease. And they take it out, it's made into cosmetics, baby products, all sorts of things. But because it is so sticky when they're before they're shorn, that dust settles on their back. Okay, what we're going to do is take these sheep for a bit of a walk around the course, and if we get it right, you can give Hunter a bit of a clap, but he's got to make sure he gets it all right first. So we're going to try and get them all through these obstacles. Now we have asked 3 or 4 people to come out here on occasions, just to try and see if they can move the sheep around. Once again, that dog's bringing the sheep to me. Okay, his job now is to bring them round and put them through this little gateway. As you can see, they're just standing there. They're not frightened of him, but there's a big respect thing going on. So when the dog moves in close, they will move away from him. Hey, pretty well done. Give him a little clap. He's been doing it all day, this little dog, so he's working very well at the moment. Okay, he's going to bring him back out here to me now. And we've got a little raceway under the tent stand. We've got sheep everywhere at the moment. We'll just make sure they all come out the other end, and then we'll turn them around. Okay, going very, very well at the moment. Give him another clap. Okay, just for something very different. I normally don't do this. The little Kelpie has been, he hasn't really started his training out in the paddock, but just to show you the instinct of the dog, he can still herd just like this little fellow, and he's much quicker. And they get in, as I said, they get in the face of the sheep. So we'll try and get him to put them through this other little obstacle. So mainly he's been trained to do the work in here, but just for today, probably for your entertainment, not so much mine. Okay, now once I start working him out there, I might not say too much because I'm going to have to keep concentrating on him. He's very, very keen, this young dog. If I could wake up one day in my life and feel like a Kelpie, I'd be happy. Here you go. Here you go.
She's on him. She stood on the sheet.
Give a clap for that. He's a great little dog. He's only just 1 year old. He's having the time of his life out here. Okay, we're going to put him in the yard and show you what he's been trained to do. It's called what we call yard work. The energy of the dog is quite obvious. And he's now got a job to do. He's going to put the sheep in the front pen. But to do that, it is quite dangerous for the dog. Now what you're going to see is what we call yard work. Now once that dog is in there, he's got to be able to cross many, many hundreds of sheep. And the way we do it is train them to get up on the back of the sheep.
What the?
Now there is a reason for putting them up there. What happens is when they come into the big sheds, normally there's 300, 400, 500 sheep. We've got to push them up into these big sheds. What we do, make yourself comfortable, Rolly, if you like. What we do is push the sheep. We train the dog to run from the back of the sheep right to the front. As soon as they feel that dog on their back, they will just move forward. We call them yard dogs or backing dogs. And as you can see, the little Kelpie is just having the time of his life. The sheep are not scared, but it's the best way to get all those sheep up into those big sheds. So I think we can give Rolly just one little clap too. Well done, Rolly. Now you can come in and say hello to both dogs now if you want to. We're going to let you come in and just say hello. This little fella, I'll probably keep him on the other side of the fence for a moment. He tends to want to lick everyone, being a pup. But the other little dog is extremely friendly, and if you want to, you can certainly lean over and open up the wool. You'll see lovely merino wool on all these sheep, and that's all you've got to do. That dust will wash out when it gets to the woolen mills. So just going to organise some dogs here. Is it too cold for a swim today or not? No, it's not. And that's one of the ways we keep our dogs cool. We always have water out.